Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the Chit Chat podcast. I'm your host, Guy Magno. I just got done recording this podcast, which was super fun and different and a little crazy with my friend Ashley Green. Ashley runs a really neat business right downtown, actually immediately next door to our new spot downtown called Green Thumb, etc. She sells plants and she upholsters chairs in cool, fun ways with funky patterns and fabrics that are like hairy and furry, just like really fun, unique stuff. And then all kinds of like unique giftware. So you should go down and see her shop. But I can't wait for you to hear the podcast. We talk about silly, fun things that we love and enjoy. And we also talked about downtown. I think we actually talked about downtown in a kind of way that maybe I haven't yet on the podcast, but we both really love downtown. We want to see it do well. And so we just had a really good conversation just about the kinds of businesses that we hope come and maybe even what a few of the challenges that we bump into downtown as business owners and purveyors down here. So thanks for continuing to listen to the podcast. We really, really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Ashley Green.
Guy Magno.
That's it. Thank you so much for coming and joining us on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Anytime?
Anytime. I could be co-host.
Right.
Do you want? I could just slide my chair over there and we can get somebody else in the hot seat?
Let's do it. You are actually my neighbor.
Yes.
Here downtown, and so like that could
Business
actually
neighbor.
be. Mm-hmm. Do you live in St. Cloud? Do you live in Sauk Rapids? Where's home?
Well, we just found out that at the time of this podcast, we're living 2 weeks in the future.
We are.
So I will be living. Yes, I live in St. Cloud. I will be living at a different location in podcast drop time. 2 weeks.
Wow.
So from today, about a month.
Also St. Cloud?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Ashley, would you tell our listeners, who are you? What do you do? And tell us a little bit about kind of what makes you tick.
Okay, you got it. Well, I'm Ashley Green, the owner and founder and CEO of Green Thumb, etc. And then all of the other things that I do. On a personal level, aside from the long walks on the beach and all of those things, I'm a coffee lover. So we've got a little, that's my...
As you started, I was thinking, do I stop her? Because I want to pour the coffee. But then
I'll segue right into it.
Tastefully did it. I think we're drinking a light roast today.
It looks a little light roasty.
Yep.
I'm thrilled.
A little tea forward.
Okay.
Do you need any cream?
No.
Good,
Nope.
because I don't have any today.
Yeah, as I'm looking at what we have available to us.
I'm so glad that the answer was no.
Yeah, I'm a straight drink my coffee black.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Okay, Green Thumb, etc. You were going to call it Green Thumb plants and novelty gifts and upholstery. And you're like, no, it's too many things.
Too wordy, yeah.
What about just like etc.?
Can we just, and then also like I don't want to be pigeonholed. If I name myself
Right.
Green Thumb plants, flowers, furniture, upholstery, giftware, then that's all I can do. I can't change my name. So,
But inside of etc.,
sky
I could do is
anything.
the limit.
I could do anything.
How fun. Green Thumb, and your name is Green.
Yes.
This is also, I don't know if anybody had ever put that together for you.
It is funny to me, like when people come in and they're like, it's kind of like when you discover like a person's like stage name is actually their real name, and you're like, you lucked out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, Green Thumb. It's Ashley Green.
Yeah.
By birth, I was Ashley Green. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that have you liked plants? Have you been a plant lady since you were a little girl?
No. When I was a little girl, what I had available to me for plants and how I interacted with plants was like, when you drag your wagon over and you'd take a bunch of mud and like clippings and make stew.
Oh yeah.
That was my early plant lady days.
Yeah.
And then making stew and then making my younger sisters like threatening to make them drink it.
Right.
Or dump them in it.
Right.
I can remember the moment that I became a plant lady when I made the decision. And it changed my life.
Yeah. I was a chubby kid. And so like we weren't making stew. They were cookies.
Okay.
It was mud, and you'd throw a little grass in there, a little rock, push that together and let it, set it on the driveway.
Okay.
So it would bake, it's our cookie.
So then did it actually form into a shape of a cookie?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It just crumbled. Oh yeah, for sure. But again, I was a little chubby kid. Like I didn't know that you needed like certain ingredients.
No, I think if you had more grass, it would have bound it together better.
Right. Yeah. Some dry grass for sure.
Yeah.
Low moisture content is what you need. Well, great.
Your recipe book for mud pie cookies can come out. It's coming out later this year, right?
It is coming out,
Okay,
yeah. From this in 2 weeks, this podcast time, it's coming out in 2 weeks after that. I think about when you're moving, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, question for you. A plant lady, right? We have things like cat ladies,
Yes.
right? How similar, just kind of in vibe, aura, etc., is a plant lady from a cat lady? In what ways are they similar, and in what ways are they different?
Thank you for the hard-hitting question, Guy. I would say cat ladies
Yeah.
and plant ladies. I would assume just from the overall vibe is like on like a more of like a chill level, you know, where it's like if you're a plant person, there's much less that's like pressing upon you because it's just kind of like they exist, they live if they die. At least for me, if
Sure.
the plants live, they live. If they die, they die.
Wow.
Which I think is a common misconception that people have about like the way that I live my life. People think that I'm this like guru and everything that I touch turns to thrive. And, you know, that's not.
I would never think that.
Yeah, no. I've got a whole graveyard of like pots that have once held plants in the back room. So, yeah, I kill things all the time. I just don't go around advertising it.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You know,
Yeah.
except for on a podcast.
Brown thumb, etc. It doesn't have the
ring.
same kind of ring to it.
And it, you know, it's kind of that like you shop with the people and the brands that make you feel like you're a better person. Brown thumb,
100%.
etc.
It doesn't do that.
No, it's
Does
not
not do
inspiring
that.
anybody.
Yeah.
Great name for a coffee shop, maybe.
Ooh, no, thanks.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean, you do you. You know, if that's freebie, take
Yeah.
that one. Is that?
Yeah,
Can
they
can
can
they
take it. They
Yeah.
can take it.
That's a
Yeah.
freebie. Go right ahead. Okay, so I happen to love plants. I'm
Okay.
a big plant guy. At the studio and the coffee shop, we have
Many.
many. It's so many.
Yeah.
And I forget if I've said this to you before, but it's a little concept I wanna kind of like lay out here for
Okay.
like a real life plant lady.
Okay.
Right. I'm just like a pretend plant lady. You know.
Yes. What's the difference between a real life plant lady and a pretend plant lady? I
have people that help me keep them alive.
Oh.
I want them. I want
Yeah.
them. I want to be surrounded by them. But either time or interest or something, like I'm not the one who's like pursuing their well-being. I want them to be in existence and I want to be in their presence.
Sure.
But I'm not like laboring over their
Yes.
care.
Okay, not invested emotionally.
No.
Oh.
No. Emotionally invested.
Okay.
It's a time investment.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but no, I'm emotionally invested. A lot of the plants have names even.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, at one point at the studio, a big giant open space, which it feels weird now because like it's kind of a plant space. But there was a season when there, believe it or not, I hate to report, but at one point there were no plants.
By design.
It just didn't happen. Just
Okay.
didn't exist.
Okay.
I tried one and it died. I tried one more and it died. And it's like, I guess they're not going to be here.
Right.
And then
This is
so
not
for years, we had no plants. And at one point I just was like, this is absurd.
Yeah.
We need plants. Actually, Black Stack. Have you ever been to Black Stack Brewing in St. Paul?
Oh, no.
Fine brewery. I don't know if the beer is necessarily like right home about.
Right.
The space is very similar to the studio.
Okay.
Big, giant open space, garage, glass garage doors that
Yeah.
roll up. But they had filled the place with plants. And it was like, this isn't a brewery. This is a jungle.
Yes, it's a jungle that they sling beer out of.
Yeah. And I was smitten.
Okay.
I was smitten with this space. And I came back, I was like, it's done. It's official. I'm a plant guy now.
That's your plant lady origin story.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was a training montage and this whole thing.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, this unique thing of like, we weren't a plant space. No one thought of us as a plant space. You have to spend a fair bit of money
Yeah.
to like, it's a big space to get enough plants where you're kind of like a plant space.
Yeah.
It's, it's not an inexpensive endeavor and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But then this incredible thing happened. It's this concept that I call plant critical mass,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
No one gave me plants before. Nobody. I didn't. No one gave me any plants because why would I give Guy plants? He's not a plant lady.
Yeah.
Right. And now we get plants gifted to us all the time.
Yeah.
We spent a certain dollar amount, a certain amount of effort,
Yeah.
etc., into becoming a plant space, and now plants just show up.
Yes.
I have shown up to the studio, and there is
Like
just
babies on the firehouse doorstep. That's
very sad, but yeah,
That's
very sad. Way to go.
That happens to me with furniture. I
Yeah.
have become a furniture space.
Yeah.
And so it's
used furniture smells way worse
Oh,
than
yeah,
what these
than plants.
used plants.
They're actually, I would say, on the opposite end of the
Opposite,
spectrum.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Those plants are helping the air,
Yes.
and the old furniture, it's not.
No, lots of dead skin cells up in there.
Yeah. But this incredible thing is that and I love it. Like we get plants, and here's the best thing about it, because the space is big.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The plants that people bring us, they're not bringing us their little potted things. Every once in a while we'll get something small, but it's like people are moving or something and they're like, hey, I have a tree. It's a potted tree. I can't take it with me. Could it come here? The answer is yes.
Yes.
If you're hearing this now, we'll take your tree.
Your trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this plant critical mass.
Churches. That happens to churches too.
Really? Huh.
Because they have those big
Tall spaces, right? Yeah. And so I now get lots of plants. So we did the hard work of getting to a certain spot where we're now thought of as a plant, and now they just come in. I don't really spend money on plants anymore.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's kind of that like my sister had made the comment years ago that she loves like Paris. Like she was just like, she had like one picture on her wall that was like a little Paris thing.
Yeah.
And then she was
Just
like,
the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
With like a baguette next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people like French kissing, and that was like the extent of it. Yeah. And so people are like, oh, you like Paris? And so then it's like, what do you get the person that you don't really know very well? Well, I saw that she obviously likes Paris.
Yeah.
And so then she got to, she reached her critical mass of like, this was so many years that has gone now of just people giving me
Paris stuff?
Parisian things. Yeah. That she's like, it went to the tipping
opposite.
point of I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And now you
pendulum
give me a
swung the other
chore.
way.
Yeah.
The chore of I now need to throw this
I
thing
need
in the
to
garbage
get rid of
for
it. It's
you.
I'm as soon as it comes into my home, thanks for your trash gift. It's going right to Goodwill.
Wow. Has she ever been to Paris?
No.
This is devastating. This is like an extra devastating thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Not even interested.
No.
She's
Hard
like,
pass.
even if you paid me to go, I wouldn't go. I'm over it. I've seen literally everything there is to see about Paris.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I saw the Eiffel Tower once from the airplane window
Ah.
on a layover in Paris. The only time I've been to Paris was on a layover. Plane landed, took off.
There it was.
I could see it. From
Was
there.
it magical?
No.
Okay.
It's small. It's like, it's not a big giant tower. And so like, especially from an airplane window really far away, it was pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah. She's not missing much is what I'm
Okay.
getting
All
at.
right.
Yeah.
The
You can let her
4-foot
know.
tall Eiffel Tower that she bought on a whim.
Yep.
That's probably about the best that she's ever gonna.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or Vegas. Vegas has one. Yeah.
We're going to Vegas in a couple weeks.
Are you?
Actually, we're going to Vegas probably 1 week from podcast time.
Wow. Wow. Have you done Vegas before?
Yeah.
Are you guys Vegas people? I don't know what Vegas people means.
I think
Full disclosure, but
I think it means whatever you want it to mean.
Right.
If you're a person who's like, I like to go to Vegas
Buffets.
because yes, I'm a big buffet person. Cool, you're a Vegas person.
Right.
You're a big into gambling, big into deserts, like sprawling metropolis, I guess.
Yeah.
I am going, and to say that I'm going to Vegas from like a full business week is like, that's a long time to be in Vegas. But I'm going for a wedding. It's like fly in on Monday and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday convention, fly back on Friday. So it's going to be a long time. So my sisters are flying in and they're going to interweave their vacation with my workcation. So
wonderful.
yeah, a couple days hanging out with those two, the riffraff.
There is a restaurant that you should go to.
Okay.
Can I pitch a restaurant?
Yes, please.
I mean, this is a crazy thing because there's 1,000 restaurants, 10,000. I don't know. There's so many restaurants. Yeah. It is called, I think, Bang House or something like that. I think it's BANG.
And it's a restaurant?
This is a restaurant.
Okay. All right.
It is a Southeast Asian sandwich kind of thing. They specialize in something called the U wrap.
Okay.
And it's because it's like this big wrap thing with like meat from like cut off of spigot with like pickled, my mouth is watering, like pickled onions and stuff and all these wonderful kind of like Southeast Asian cuisine flavors. And then this giant wrap gets like rolled up and then it gets folded. And so it like makes a U. So they call it the U wrap.
Okay.
It is in the Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Next to the Chandelier Bar.
Got it.
So if you're there and you see the big giant Chandelier Bar, you're so close to it.
Okay, to Bang House.
Yeah. I think it's Bang House, something like that.
Okay.
It is so good.
If I Google Bang House,
Don't do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Go to the chandelier bar.
Got it.
Find
Ask
the chandelier
questions.
bar.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking for the best food in Las Vegas. And I've
Okay.
heard it's close. They'll say it's right over here.
Yeah.
Get
Okay.
the U wrap.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Enough of all that. Green Thumb, etc.
Yes.
So you guys, obviously, plants. Love that. Upholstery.
Yes.
You take old, dumb, ugly furniture and you turn it into not dumb, old, ugly furniture.
Right.
Tell me about that. How do you do it? Why do you do it? Is it fun?
Yes, all of it. Yeah, it's fun. It was so I got my start with the old furniture because in my early 20s, as you're just like, I'm trying to discover myself and who do I want to be,
Right,
you know? Yeah. This like wave of like, I think I want to do blank washed over me because I saw someone else doing it on Etsy and it was like I want that. And then the I want that turned into I want that, but I'm broken in my early 20s. I can't afford that. So then it was like, can I execute that?
Can I just make that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like kind of a thing to be like when people walk around and they're like, okay, you have a podcast. Yeah, I don't need your services. I can do it myself or whatever. You're like, cool, venture forth, friend, go do
Yeah.
it, you know?
You do you, boo-boo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. And in the case of like me doing the furniture and being like, I could execute that. And I got a lot of joy executing that it, like continued to make me want to execute it, which I think that's the difference between the people that are like, I could make that. Yeah, you probably could. Would you get joy out of it? Are you actually going to execute it? Is it something that you genuinely want to continue doing? And if all of those things are cool, be my competition. It's, be a part of this community with me. Awesome. Yeah. But if you're going to take in an old piece of furniture, you're going to rip it apart half to maybe, and then let it sit in your garage and you have to move it from home to home, you're not a part of the community and you're taking joy away from yourself because you could have had this thing for a long time and enjoyed it. So luckily for me, I started doing it. I found joy doing it. And then I continued to execute over and over again, honing my craft, mostly while my kids were sleeping. At this point, I would have had 2 kids that would have, they go to sleep and I would just sit and watch old reruns of Boy Meets World and eat a lot of, things. Yeah. And so I was like, this is not a sustainable hobby. I should create another hobby for me. Furniture upholstery.
There you go. My equivalent to that was in a different lifetime when I was a wedding photographer. And I would be up late, so late into the night, trying to get weddings edited. On a second monitor, I would play The Office, just reruns of The Office, because I didn't need to see it. Like I'd seen it before. I know what the characters looked like, and so I could just like listen to them talk. I knew the story, but it just kind of like it helped the time kind of pass a little bit when you're just like zeroed in on a project. Yeah, and if you need to just kind of like you got to zone out or you got to occupy your brain, do something fluffy. It's like brain junk food. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You have your business.
Yes.
In downtown St. Cloud.
Yes.
How long have you been downtown? We're new. We're just a handful of months into being downtown. You've been here for a while now. Yeah.
This is my third location downtown. So I've moved. And every time I say that, I realize that it's misleading to say that because people think that I have 3 active locations. This is my 3rd consecutive location. So I was in the Regency building in the beginning of 2019, I believe. Yeah. At the beginning of January of 2019, I signed a lease and I was in the Regency building. So I was there for a year. It was a 2-year lease. I was there for a year before pandemic happened. And then, everybody transitions into whatever. So I had like 6 months where I'm like, I'm paying rent and whatever, but it's just kind of like a weird time for everybody. Nothing really changed in my life, but that was when I was like, you know what I really want? I want to have a storefront. I want to be able to open my doors and let people come in, and then I'm obligated to be here as well because I've got regular hours. People can wander by, walk in. I thought that was going to happen when I was in the Regency, but because it was inside, it was like...
That spot is kind of deep in the building.
Yes. Yeah. Nobody's going to just wander by and be like, oh, can I come shop here? And then because of that, it wasn't really like set up to be a workspace either, which is what I was like, oh, I think people should understand about starting a business is like, if you think and then as you settle into it, you actually don't know what you don't know and be willing to adapt and adjust. I thought if I just have a showroom space for my furniture, that'll solve all my problems. But then I'm paying money to not be somewhere because I can't work there. I have to go work at home. So then it's not solving any problems for me anyway. So that was my second location, was across the street right next to the Paramount, next to like Mind, Body, and Spirit had an event space and their space, but no events are happening in COVID. So they relinquished that space to me. And then that became my storefront and I was able to operate, like work out of there and whatever. So in the middle of the pandemic, I started a, retail business. which
Super neat.
yeah, I don't know.
We did too,
It
actually.
just-
Kinder.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you're just like, it just kind of works out.
Yeah.
I don't know why some things work out and some things don't work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you worked, I worked, and then I was there for a little while until I was like I had reached a critical mass where it was like there's a lot of snarky, sassy things in the world that I want to sell. I don't have enough space. There's a space down the street that's available that has more space and a walk-in cooler. So it checked off even more boxes. So that was my then third move downtown.
Sweet. There's so much conversation around downtown.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like it's been years of that anyway, but I guess, I mean, as we head into an election cycle, where our current mayor isn't rerunning.
Right.
And so like, we're for sure going to have a new mayor. It just feels like there's so much conversation right now around our downtown. What do you think's working? Like what's working down here? What isn't working? How do we make it better? As you know, like we're business owners, we don't have unlimited money, and we're just trying, right? We're just people that are trying. What do we need? What does downtown need? What does St. Cloud need?
I think it's an interesting question about what's working because like how do you answer that? Like the people that are down here are what's working. The people that are working here,
Like actually, literally,
yeah, like actually working down here is what's working down here. And then I think you can kind of put a period on the end of that sentence. There's a lot of untapped potential down here, but if you're not going to partner that with like you've got untapped potential, are we giving people opportunities to seize onto that potential, or are there barriers in the way? I think there's a lot of barriers in the way. When you think of like a lot of the buildings, luckily for you guys, you were able to move into a fully renovated building, so that made it a pretty seamless transition for you to be able to come right in and start making money and use this space, which is great. But when you look around at a lot of the buildings down here, that's not the case for a lot of these places.
It's going to take work.
Exactly.
If they turn over, which I hope they do.
Right.
It'll take lots of resources
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, that's another barrier because if your space wasn't available, you know, to be able to just move in and start working right away. If my space wasn't available, I didn't take out business loans. I didn't have a wealth of money to just be able to renovate somebody else's building to make it, you know, sustainable for me. So it had to be move-in ready. That's not the case. What are we doing to make that, you know, for people to be able to do that? Big question mark. I don't necessarily subscribe to the parking thing. There's so many like misconceptions about the parking of downtown that it's like to just say it and then be done is like, I think we should just go back to, you know, free nights and weekends. I mean, can we just, and that's all. I'm not saying let's eliminate parking forever. Let's just go back to free nights and weekends, especially when you're sitting down here. I recently opened up on Sundays from 10 to 2 and you kind of look down the street and you're like, not a single person end to end. So
what good is it to have that anyway?
Exactly. So
I ask because I don't know if I have any sort of big ideas or anything on what to do. I hope people keep showing up.
Right.
You know, I hope people keep investing down here for the businesses that are down here. I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. I love our downtown. I mean, even since I was a kid, you know, like I grew up here and even as a kid, as soon as I got my driver's license, I grew up in Sartell. As soon as I got my license, as fast as I could get down here, you know, sitting at little coffee shops and seeing concerts and just all that stuff that you're just kind of supposed to do in high school. Go and explore your city. And I loved doing all of that. And I wish we had more, you know.
But it's also, we were having this conversation at Cigar Club a couple of nights ago where it's like, but also the kids aren't doing that anymore. The kids aren't trying to like rush off down to a coffee shop and like, you know, so what is it that, are we just the gross old millennials? Right. Exactly. Know? Exactly. Yeah. So then what does one do? When you take into account like the generations and like how people recreate differently, what does that look like for a downtown? Are we just clinging on to this, like what it was, what it could have been, you know?
Let's just say that's true.
Okay.
There are so many communities that are doing that thing and it's doing really, really well, you know? And so like even if it is like a bygone era kind of thing, there are so many towns that still do the bygone era of a dedicated downtown where there's lots of commerce that happens. And so even if it is, I want that. I want that thing for our community.
And I think that's an interesting like point to make too, where like, okay, so if, you know, okay, we're gross and we're old, right? We are out of touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly.
Yes. So if we're talking like what are the kids doing? What gets you out of bed in the morning, and what gets you to like put your shoes on and go do something? It's got to be worth it. It can't just be like, hey, we're going to have this little, blank event, or hey, I have a art showing at my whatever. Like the things, we're not desperate for things to do as we would have been when we were younger, because I can stream, and I'm not waiting by the TV for that episode of Boy Meets World to come on. I'll catch it later and binge 3 seasons of it. So what is going to get you up and out of bed? It's got to be really worth your time, because you're not just passing time anymore. If you're just passing time, you don't need to leave your house to pass your time. So I think that's a really good point about there are downtowns that are thriving, and you're getting multi-generations of people that are out of the house and doing things. I think to say, and shame on me for saying it, that the younger generation isn't going out and isn't doing the things. They're just doing the same thing that we were doing, using their time in a way that they're passing their time in a way that whatever mindlessly works for them, and still actively choosing to do things that they like to do. And downtown St. Cloud right now isn't a thing that they like to do. So we just have to change that.
Yeah.
Across the board for everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, I'm so curious with whoever our new mayor is, what elements of Mayor Kleiss's vision and stuff that, things that he's said for downtown, does the new mayor pick up, and which ones do they leave behind, and do they, kind of put their own flag in the sand, so to speak, of what they want this to be? What I know is when you look at healthy, vibrant communities, not downtowns, but just like vibrant communities and cities, they all have really vibrant downtowns. It feels like a 1-to-1 correlation. Vibrant community, vibrant downtown. I'd love to see it. Maybe someone could comment where there's some communities that in general is just crushing it. Yeah. And the whole main street of their downtown is completely empty.
Yeah, ghost town with tumbleweeds.
Yeah. Like I've never seen that thing. And so I'm also not saying necessarily that like if we fix downtown, we fix everything else. Like it doesn't feel like it necessarily goes that way, but there is some kind of correlate, or there's some kind of relationship between general community success and downtown success. So I hope people keep showing up and keep pushing. And where our other stuff is technically downtown. I learned that recently on that Cooper, believe it or not, everyone, Cooper Avenue, that's downtown. Yeah. Except no, it's not. Right. It's not downtown. Right. So I guess technically on whatever map we were downtown, but yes. It feels good to officially and finally like actually be downtown in a place that I've loved. And I'm so thankful that, there's lots of cool business. There's lots of cool people that are doing really, really cool things down here.
But I think it's kind of that too, where it's like, what is the slate that you're starting with? If you were truly starting with a blank slate, then it's almost like the potential is endless. Then anybody with an idea can move in and kind of make a space work for them. But when you're looking at like, we're not starting with a blank slate, we're starting with kind of like a dirty slate, you know? So with that, you have to say like, okay, can I make this thing maybe imperfectly kind of work for what I'm trying to do? And then you're not really finding that right fit. So I think it's easier for people to go elsewhere where it is a blank slate, or they can build something from either ground up or from like, hey, this is a thing that already existed here that left. So we're kind of almost like in the hole as far as like where we can even begin.
I think this is something I've spent a fair bit of time thinking about. I don't know if this is all true or not because I'm an idiot, but it feels like our proximity to Minneapolis sometimes is also a unique challenge. Yeah. From right here, I could go get in my car right now, and in like 62 minutes, like I can be downtown. Yeah. That's not that far. Right. And so if you're thinking like, hey, I want to start a restaurant downtown, and I'm going to take some old building and I'm going to invest, like just to do a normal big construction project is expensive, and then you're going to build an awesome commercial kitchen. Yeah. Like you could be millions of dollars into a project like that. And 60 minutes away, there are hundreds of awesome restaurants. And it just feels like to take the risk, like you have to spend similar amounts of money to do it here as you would there. Right. I don't know. It's so close. Like it really is so close. Yeah. And so as a consumer of all of that fun stuff, sometimes like I like that it's there. And it sometimes it does seem like a challenge just that all of that cool stuff is so close. Right. But at some point, it's just, there's some critical mass. Oh, we're back. It's like a theme. Some critical mass of enough people saying like, enough of that, we're going to do the really cool thing down here. Right. I have never asked this on the podcast before. Okay. If you were going to say there are 2 things that our downtown is missing so that someone is listening.
Yes.
And that they'll say, I'll take one of those and go do it.
Yes.
What are 2 things that you think would be massive additions
I
for our downtown?
I think about this all the time. I want more retail. So I think we
Give me a specific though, like a kind of retail.
like kind of retail. I think we need more like quick shoppable kind of things, like gifty kind of store kind of things, like what I am. And not in a way of like, where you can't sell these brands or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care,
Yeah.
I mean, there is like be kind to your neighbors in all of that too, where it's like if there was somebody who wanted to open up a plant store right nearby, it's a little bit like, but do we need that? If that's your passion and being downtown is also your passion, by all means do
Let's
that.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of that like, I want more unique shoppable experiences downtown. So when people come into my store, they're coming in and they're shopping and they're getting like a sassy kind of snarky experience. Plus they're seeing like a workspace. Plus they're seeing like, there's like beauty and deconstruction and funny, sassy things. And you get to be kind of transported into a little bit of a different world. I want that for different things. Like I want
a different
segment. I want
Yeah.
culinary. Like I want somebody to have, like when you think about one of my favorite towns to go to is Hudson, and they've got this little kind of like the Grand Depot that we have in Waite Park. If we had something like that here,
Yeah.
maybe centered around like a little mini commercial kitchen, so you can do like cooking, like
Testing
fun little,
and little classes and
exactly.
that's
Like
fun.
that would be fun.
I like that one.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to all the classes.
Yeah.
If that comes.
Yes.
So here it is.
Yes.
I'm going to all the classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The mise en place knife skills class.
Yes.
I'm coming.
Yes.
I'm coming. You
Teach
can't keep
me
me
things.
from it.
I just want to, learn. I want to learn how to juggle knives and then slice up a carrot into like a fruit, like
Shoot.
fancy
You're
things.
thinking of the circus, I think.
Oh,
The juggling knives
no,
thing.
you're right.
That's a circus thing.
I think downtown is missing a circus.
All right. So
Okay.
a high-end culinary store.
Circus.
And a circus.
High-end culinary circus.
Okay, good.
Where someone throws a tomato in the air and pins it to the wall, and then everybody else comes along and like
Cooks with it.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
I want a diner.
Okay.
I want like lowbrow.
Like Greasy Spoon.
Yeah.
Like where we had Pete's Place.
Yeah.
But just like that.
Yeah.
But just where you
Yep.
can come in.
Again, it feels like all of these awesome little downtowns, they all have something like that.
Yeah.
Where, I hope they're using like, locally grown stuff, but it's
Right.
still like, I want good, high quality food, but I wanted to kind of the feel, like kind of
Yeah.
a feel of,
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
You go in and you're just like, whatever, I'm here to eat. Yeah.
yeah, I'm here for bad coffee and a great omelet.
Yeah.
I think that would be a blast.
Yeah. Coffee that's just like, I don't know, it's Folgers out of a bag. I
Yeah.
throw it in.
Yeah.
It's going to be watered
It's
down or
supposed
too
to be
strong,
bad.
burnt. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You're not here for that. You're
Yeah.
here for the culinary experience.
Okay, so we've each given one. Give me one more.
I want like a dessert place. I want
Don't mind.
Yes, that's what I want. I want like, so I was out in Laramie, Wyoming, visiting friends, and they've got the cutest little cupcake house called the Sugar Mouse Cupcake House. To die. It's the cutest little thing. You walk in, it's just like frilly and pink and icing everywhere, and it's whatever. And then you go in and you get your cute little cupcake that you paid $6 for. I don't care. I'll buy a dozen cupcakes at $6. Go buy $100 bill. Hello, 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want it.
I think you're sorely mistaken if you think that's only 2,000 calories.
It's 2,000 That's I'll just eat a day's worth of calories.
right.
And cupcakes all day.
in one cupcake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking kind of desserty too. Like I think of a fun little ice cream shop or something.
Yes.
Like, hey David from Jupiter Moon, come downtown.
Why not?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think again something like
Yep.
kind of desserty.
Yeah.
It feels like after dinner, like you
Yes.
go and walk and go hit up another spot. And
Well, because that's kind of the thing where, like, when people are walking by after, because we have so many great restaurants downtown, and we hit such like a wide, diverse range of different kind of food that you can eat that I love it. When people are like, "What's good to eat down here?" Everything is good to eat down here. It just depends on what you want. Do you want Irish food? Do you want bar food? Do you want elevated bar food? Do you want Asian? Do you want? I mean, you could Indian. You could literally get anything down here. So yeah, that's great. So you're only going to eat at one of those places though. So, okay, what else are you going to do? You're going to leave and you want to walk and you want to just like chit chat. You want to snuggle with your, third
With
date.
your beau.
Yeah, exactly. You're out and you're doing, and then you're not ready to go home yet. Maybe you don't want to go like right for a nightcap right away. So yeah, you want to shop. You want a little dessert. You want to like go make moony eyes at each other at the bookstore,
moon eyes.
Am I painting a vision of what our
Yeah.
downtown could be?
Yeah. That could
All
be the tagline.
Paris boutique. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be the tagline.
Yeah.
Downtown St. Cloud. Moon eyes only.
Yeah. Moon eyes only.
All right. I think that something like a little like a little Walgreens, CVS kind of thing. Like
have to. Utilitarian.
you can walk in and get late at night. You can get a gallon of milk or a dozen eggs.
Yep. Tylenol.
I have a headache. I just need, Tylenol, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Again, you need people for that. So it's it feels a little bit like chicken and egg, but how do you get people down here? And then once we get people, then you give them the services and things they need.
Right.
And some of that utilitarian stuff feels like it would go a really long way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Eat like a little like Target, like a little
pocket Target.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Coborn's.
Right. Little pocket Coborns.
But Coburn's, pocket Coburn's. Mm-hmm. Sweet. You had mentioned Cigar Club.
Yes.
I've never come to Cigar Club.
No, you made a
guest appearance.
Strong guest appearance, though.
Late one night.
Yeah.
I was finishing dinner with some friends. I was walking to my vehicle. I greeted Ashley and the others of Cigar Club, which is just some friends hanging out on the corner smoking cigars, and I think shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
Did I get this right?
Yep, accurate description so far.
Good. And I was just standing there on the corner talking to you.
Yep.
And then I turn, as we all do, and there is a man, catty corner,
kitty corner,
to us in front of the old Herberger's building where the old Saddies. And he had face planted on the sidewalk. I think maybe even kind of like hands in pocket kind of thing.
Yes.
Had a seizure, and forehead into the ground. There's blood. And so like running, calling 911.
Yes.
Thankfully, Ryan Shep was there, who had
very comfortable around blood,
right?
And latex
the tattoo
gloves.
Guy.
Yep.
Gloves on, helping with doing that whole
cleaning,
thing. But it was kind of a scary deal. Yeah. And the guy's trying to communicate to us what's going on while he's kind of in the middle of a seizure, and that's why I've never come back. Actually, I had thought this is so fun. I want to come. Oh, never mind.
I can't
because of the seizures.
100% of the time that you've come to Cigar Club, there's been a medical incident. Yeah, exactly.
I can't take that risk.
No.
Yeah, no. Especially, there is something called, this is true, I'm not making this up, it's a medical condition, or it's the technical description, vasovagal syncope. This is when you get lightheaded because of blood or stuff like that.
I am a sufferer of vasovagal syncope.
Yeah.
There's I think an ice bucket challenge for people like me.
Is there?
There should be.
Where you what?
You just try and raise money for vasovagal syncope.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. Help people like me.
Yeah.
I was undergoing a minor surgery a handful of months ago. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I am I'm the oldest of 3, and my other 2 siblings, my youngest sibling is the one who is like a big Paris freak, not freak anymore.
Right.
She also used to watch like surgery shows.
Yeah.
Like it would
cool.
she'd just turn it on and just like sit at like 4. And so that put me at 6. And I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable. And the vasovagal for me comes out when it's like I'm thinking about the inner workings of your body. Period.
Yep.
If it's like your inside body on the outside, or if it's like the outside world going into your body, it's like that's
all
the stuff that it gets me. And
when the outside that should be out goes in, bad. When the inside that should be in comes out, also bad.
Also bad.
That's also
bad. I like the meat casing that my body is held in,
just like
and
it
I
is.
keep it tight. So I was having this minor surgery, and the nurse who is helping me, we're getting in and we're getting like comfortable, and we're starting to learn a lot about each other. And he goes in to give me my IV. And so he's going in the back of the hand. And I was like, I see what you're trying to do there, but do you see this, like, I've got a butte right here, can we go there? And he was like, but if I miss it there,
okay.
And I was like, but if you miss it there, are you confident that you're going to get it here? Because like I said, we've got Rocky Mountain baby veins over here. Yeah. So are you also a vasovagal sufferer?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So what he does to me, he's explaining to me, once I can't go down the arm, but I can work my way up the arm. So that's the reason why. Cool. I'm starting to feel less comfortable with this man. Can you fire your nurse as a person who, like, I didn't hire you. We're just in the room together. I don't think I can, but I'm not confident. And so I made the mistake of asking him, like, so, buddy, how long have you been doing this? And he was like, I'm thinking that's a confident sound. Yeah. That's a sound of like, I've got to think
25
back
years,
now.
man. 25 years.
Yep. Whew, probably 6 weeks. Okay. And now I'm like, the vasovagal is like starting to settle in, and he's like, cool, catch you on the other side. And he like goes in, and I was like, we both knew immediately that he didn't execute what he wanted to execute. And so was just like, you missed
that,
didn't you?
Yeah.
And he was like, yep.
Yeah.
And it was that moment that I was like, oh, I'm going down. And so I'm describing, like, I'm like, it's going black. And I'm like, my like limbs, I'm trying to just like move. And I got weird. I got real weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm fighting the tunnel, you know, and he's like panicking.
As the blood vessels are constricting.
Yes,
So you're losing oxygen.
Yep. And I was just like, and so holding it together as best as I can to try and execute like words to him to let him know, like, this is not a good situation for either one of us here. And so he's like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, if I went to medical school, I could answer that question. This is for you to solve.
I'm on this side of the chair.
Yeah.
I don't know
and you did this to me.
Yeah.
So what do we do here?
Yeah.
So
fix it.
He drops what he's like doing here, needle in my hand, not where it should be. And he like, let's go. And he's like, do you need a wet washcloth? And I was like, if you think that'll help. And so he turns and he's like getting wet cloth and kind of like puts it at me. And I'm like wiping my face and trying to like, it's still,
Is the thing still on there? Still in the hand?
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, good.
So I'm doing this and he's like, what about air? And I was like, if don't ask me what about blank, because I'm a plant lady.
Yeah, right.
If
As
there
we
was,
established.
yes, I could, if the broken legs that I deal with are like furniture legs.
Yeah.
So like if that's broken, there's no emergency. And I can just be like, you know what that needs? A little glue, a little clamp. This is a different situation. So he grabs like a hose of air and throws it on me. And then we're sitting in this, like, there was a lot of activity, intense activity over like a 45-second period of time. And then we're just like, I'm like sitting here with this like hose. And then he like, now he has to decide, does he go back to what he was doing, to like doing his job?
Or does he call his boss?
Or he went back to it.
Okay.
And then we got it. And I was like, so should I from now on preface any kind of work done medically with, I have a strong vasovagal response? And he was like, that would have been nice. So it was my fault that I blame the victim, I guess.
Yeah. Mine is more like, it has nothing to do with, or very little to do with my stuff.
Okay.
Like if I get a bad cut or something like that, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's other people, and for sure, people, like the people that I care the most about. My wife, my children, my friends, like family, you know, like that, even someone just like relaying something that happened to them. This was when it gets dark real quick.
Yeah.
Cassie, we had two kiddos, 2 deliveries, and both of them passed out during both of them. Because this is my person, right?
Yeah.
Like my
Yeah.
And she is going through an ordeal right now.
Yeah.
And
a situation.
Yeah. And the first one just ended up on the floor. The second one, we kind of knew it was coming. And so we kind of prepped and prepared, and there was a bed made up, like on the couch.
Just for you.
In which it felt, both times, don't worry, it felt so terrible.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we should spend some time and energy working on me right now, because that's the most important thing.
And it's also that like you're just a guest here.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be here.
Yeah.
But you put yourself in this room to be a supporter.
Yeah.
And now you're stealing the spotlight.
Yeah. Our first, James, Cassie was laboring on her side, like kind of turned away from me. And so as I went to the floor, I'm laying on the floor.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her to know. Like I was cognitive enough to know, like, she can't think for 1 second. Not that she would have.
Right.
Like, I think I could have gotten down in front of her and it wouldn't have mattered, right? She was focused.
Not paying any attention to you.
But I'm just like, I'm still trying to like touch her back.
Yeah.
You got it, babe. You can, while I'm on the floor, you can do it.
Yeah.
Babe, you're really good. I love you. You know, just like trying to be supportive.
Yeah.
From the floor of the hospital.
Yeah.
So
as she's actively doing the thing.
Yep.
Just yeah.
Yep. Okay. Ashley.
Yes.
Would you tell us? I'm kind of a new podcaster. You're kind of a pro podcaster. You had a podcast.
Yes.
In St. Cloud for a while. A good handful of episodes, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I was an avid listener, lover of St. Cloud, avid listener.
Yeah.
So you've been doing that, and you have a new podcast.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Tell us where people can find you. What is it about?
Okay. So the podcast is called the Love Story Podcast. So it branched off of the Love Story Wedding Show. So it's kind of working. They're like two things under
The Love Story
same.
Wedding Show is another thing that she has.
Yes.
It's like a big wedding fair, an expo thing,
Yes.
and she runs it, and that's what it's called. And continue.
Yes, another business that I had started.
Mm-hmm.
So the Love Story Wedding Show, Wedding Expo, the podcast is like, what can we do to like, because why do people get married? Hopefully for love, right? So let's tell the love stories that are behind the whole reason why the wedding industry exists. And so it's just fun. It's just fun to get people in to talk about their love story and talk about, something. It's funny because there's a lot of commonalities that have come up, whether people have been married for, 30 years or if they've been only married for a couple of years, they still were in a relationship to some degree during the pandemic, or the pandemic has something to do with it. So it's just kind of fun to hear the things that are kind of common across the board through a lot of people's relationships, but then also all of the different ways that they
Are unique.
that they make it work. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. You can go and find Ashley there. Go to her shop, Green Thumb,
Yes.
etc., on the corner of West St. Germain
7th and St. Germain.
7th.
Yep.
You can find all kinds of plants, neat upholstered furniture, and some like unique, fun gifts and things.
Yeah.
Ashley, thanks for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
At the end of all of our podcasts, we do a fun little thing called the unpaid advertisement.
Okay.
Is there anybody, anything, a business, or even an idea that you think deserves a little plug today?
Thank you for asking, Guy. I do feel very strongly about one thing in particular.
Let me hear it.
Sparkling water. I am a huge sparkling water fan. Like, water is the essence of life, as we all know, but sparkling water is the effervescence that we need.
Whoa.
If you're feeling down, if you're feeling LaCroix, if you're feeling extra bubbly and happy,
LaCroix.
Waterloo, Yeah. If
Is there a tiered list? Like if you were like, I'm gonna rank them. Give me the little list.
Well, this is where it's like, are we talking about like flavor profile? Waterloo has like a wide variety of unique flavors that I really love. Orange vanilla. Have you ever thought that you wanted orange dreamsicle flavored sparkling water?
Yeah, I think so.
It's
So good.
primo. So Waterloo has a wide variety. If we're talking like, I just want to get me that bubbly into my body, Kirkland, like why not just go straight for Costco brand 36 of your basic citrusy flavors?
Lemon.
Yeah.
Lime.
Grapefruit.
Pamplemousse.
Yes, exactly. And then then beyond that, it's like just go for the sale,
Tell me what your least favorite LaCroix flavor is and why is it coconut?
My least favorite is none of them because they all bring me something that I want when I want it.
Except you haven't. So that means you haven't.
No,
had
I
the
have tried coconut. I have tried the coconut, and I also enjoy that.
Wow. You're like the real deal.
It's all of it. Because there's people muse that like you don't actually like sparkling water. You just like pretend to like it because it's the douchey thing to do.
It's not true.
No.
I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so glad. I knew.
Yeah.
You don't have that sparkly personality.
Neighbor buds.
Yep. Yeah. Well, now we can sit. We don't have to have Cigar Club. We can have.
That's right.
We can have LaCroix Club.
Yes.
On
Just
Tuesdays.
pull out large eccentric chairs.
Yes.
Right onto West St. Germain.
Yep.
Crack a little LaCroix, little Waterloo.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
My unpaid ad for today.
Hit me.
Fountain pens. Have I done it before? I did it. Here's the deal.
This is embarrassing. The fountain pens.
Here's the thing. Then here's what I'm gonna say. The last time that I talked about fountain pens, I was still in the Gateway fountain pen, which is a Pilot. It's a Pilot Varsity. It's a disposable. It's $3. It's a cartridge. You throw the pen away. You can't refill it.
Sure.
And I have upgraded.
Okay.
Not to something really bougie or fancy. This pen is only like $15 or $16, but it is everything that I like in life. It's something fun. There's a lot to learn. In the fountain pen world, there's a lot to learn about, similar to like watches and stuff.
Sure.
It's kind of like a fine thing. And so it's a little refined, and you can there's like fun stuff to learn about it and to tinker with. And so I kind of like the little subculture around it.
Yeah.
And then when you get to know it, it really does that thing that kind of feels ubiquitous. It's like picking up a pen.
Yeah.
It does it so much better than the thing that you've always known. Like with a watch.
Yeah.
Like a little Timex tells the time. Your phone tells the time, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing special about telling the time. except a really fun watch does it in a really cool kind of way.
Yes.
A fountain pen. So
And not a non-disposable, like a reusable, refillable
Yeah.
pen. So that's your new plug of
yeah, little
of the pod.
cartridge, you got to fill it. Just
Okay.
it's a it's a little system, a little thing you got to figure
Yeah.
out, and I
Well,
love it.
it is the ritual of doing the thing.
Yeah.
I like black coffee, but I like making other people their fancy coffee
Yeah.
because I like the ritual
Yeah,
of making.
same deal.
Yeah.
Same deal.
You have an entire business around the ritual of making coffee.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes something that's fun is like if you find someone that really loves like just pens,
Yeah.
or they really love just watches, or they geek out about like something else. Like I know, like if I just tell you about this thing, I know for sure. It's not even a question mark of whether or not you're gonna love this or not, because this thing is true. Loving the kind of like ritual of that thing.
Yes.
You do that in some other areas of life. Wait till you find out
Oh my
about
goodness.
a fountain pen.
Now you've sold me on it. I didn't sell you on sparkling water. You were already a longtime fan.
Yeah.
I'm sold on fountain pens.
Fun. Well, while we're sitting in our big oversized chairs,
Yes.
with our LaCroix, we can
We can
sit with
start
some
a fountain
fountain
pen fan club.
and just like write letters. We just lost power
Not
on the
to
microphones.
yeah, not to the whole building.
Yeah, no, we're still good. But while we were away, you tried the pen.
I
What's
did.
the verdict?
10 out of 10. I'm going to say 9 out of 10
great,
because
it's fine.
it's blue ink, not
Yeah.
black.
Guess what? I'm normally a black ink guy.
Yeah.
And a guy who I'm a friend of mine, he gifted me his favorite ink, and his favorite is blue. He also gave me a well of black.
Well, there you go.
But because it was his favorite, that's what I filled with this. And
Yeah.
I'm normally a black ink kind of guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
Well,
fan.
sweet. Ashley Green, thank you so much. I
Yes.
appreciate it very much. Wonderful to have you on, and see you around West St. Germain.
Absolutely.